Okay guys, welcome to the channel. Today's video is all about steady running. I wish today was an easy day, but it's not. I have to run a little bit steadier, which is a little bit harder, but that's what builds brilliant results. I'm gonna have to get some sunglasses on, but while I talk about today's session, you can watch me do some activation stuff, which is what gets the body ready prior to doing the steady run, so that you're not starting at a I'm not ready to go, I'm not warmed up, my body's not ready for this. Let's not get injured doing a steady day. So I'm gonna go through some activation stuff, you can watch that, but I'll also talk about the steady run, and that'll be the introduction to today's video. But let me get some sunglasses. All right, that's better. These are like my driving sunglasses. I hate wearing sunglasses, but I don't wanna sit and look at the camera squinting. So today's a steady run. I'm gonna talk you through why you would do a steady run, how they're helpful, how to execute a steady run, and then why you could start building it into your training, and how you could start building it into your training. That seems a good way to sort of breach the topic of steady running. It can be seen as you should do your hard days hard and run your easy days easy. So it's not a controversial topic, but it's one of those topics that not everybody agrees that steady running is useful. I did a video not long ago on steady running. That was a steady run in Hawaii. The physiologist that helped work on the Nike Sub 2, the Breaking 2 documentary, and the project itself, he messaged me on Twitter. We had been exchanging messages, and he said, it's key. I love that. Not everyone's going to agree with it. Paula Radcliffe once told one of my good friends, Andrew Butchart, that you need to make the days count. You need to almost sweat on a daily basis. And that's a hypothetical. This morning I wake up, I wanted to do a YouTube video on recovery days and easy days. I wish I could just go run easy. I then remembered that because I trained Thursday, which is 2 days ago, hard, bit of tempo, Friday was an easy day, very slow, very easy, super important. But now today is back to steady day. It's there has to be some layer of intent. You have to wake up and say, I don't need an easy day today, so I'm gonna push a little bit. You don't turn it into a tempo, you don't turn it into a hard day, but it must count. It's a day that you need to put an emphasis on, I'm gonna run a bit faster today. There's a mental benefit, there's a mental concentration that comes with it. It can be tiring at first, but it can be key to moving your physiology forward. We're gonna start with some activation work before we go on the steady run, because we wanna give our muscles a chance to get a little bit warmed up. How it's gonna work is a little bit of activation routine, and then I do about 2K easy to steady, so I don't jump straight into steady. I build over that first 2K to steady, and then I'll do about 10K steady, and then maybe like 1K easy at the end to kind of shut things down. Okay, that's some activation stuff done. Now I do a little bit of stretching on perhaps areas of my body that felt a bit tight. I'm down for a pee, so I'm gonna go for a pee, stretch a few bits, put on my running shoes, do that 2K easy, and then get stuck into the steady. Keep watching, and I'll talk you through while I do this steady, why you might want to include it in your training, what it might be useful for, how it can help, and how to do it in a way that benefits your running and you don't get injured. But this is like tiring me out, this position, so I gotta go pee. Something that's very important is that steady running is an intensity and not a speed. You might learn that over time it becomes a speed, i.e. it becomes consistent, and you realize that the intensity that you get the benefits of steady running is around about a certain pace. But for now, you have to remember that steady running is an intensity. It is not a speed. Don't go out on a windy day or on a tough course, a hilly place, for example, and try to run at a certain speed. Try to figure out the effort level. Like I said, it's between slow running, that easy jog, and marathon type tempo. It's an intensity in between those two training zones. Don't confuse steady running with a speed, but as you get more experience with it, you might learn that one speed in particular becomes your kind of steady running range. You have to build into your steady running gradually. Don't get injured trying to add steady running into your training. That means that build it up over time and make sure you progress the volume of your steady days at a slow enough rate that you don't get overtired or you don't get injured. How that might look on paper is, for example, if Wednesday and Thursday are easy days for you, you might find you do your easy day Wednesday, then on your Thursday easy day, you add in perhaps something small like do a 5-mile run, you make 1 or 2 mile of that run steadier. That's all. Then in a week's time, if you're still healthy, etc., and nothing's wrong, make sure then to add a little bit more. But always have that week where you test the theory. Did it work? Did I stay healthy? Did I not get overtired, etc.? Always test before you add something new to your training. Okay, so how you might want to go about adding this steady training into your running program is by doing one of your specific days, which could be intervals, hills, marathon, tempo, etc. Let's pretend that's on the Monday. You could follow that up with a easy recovery day where maybe you cross train or you just jog easy and make sure that the body's recovering. Then the next day, that can be your steady day. So you've done your harder day, you've took your easy recovery, then you can do steady. That's how my program works, and I usually include 1 or 2 steady days into a 10 to 12 day cycle. I make sure that I'm laying that foundation for which I can build my specific fitness on top of. Okay, I think it's really important to address the fact that this is not super safe training. And so with everything, there's a layer of caution. The layer of caution is why I've told you to figure out your intensity, why I've told you to do the pre-steady activation stuff, why I'm also going to tell you to focus on your nutrition, your hydration, all the important stuff, because running that little bit harder is exactly what it says. It's a bit harder. What we're not looking to do as runners is get injured. And so don't blame steady running for why you got injured if you didn't pay attention to adding little bits of volume of steady to your week over time, or if you didn't do the pre-steady activation, or if you don't do anything for your recovery, hydration, nutrition, foam rolling, self-massage, etc. These are all very important. So be careful with steady. That's the layer of caution. It is harder and it does break the body down. So be sensible and don't go crazy with your first couple of steady runs.
Number 1, it's not easy. So running, if you hadn't already figured it out yet, it's not easy at all. And so steady runs require a bit more mental concentration. You don't get to just jog along. And so obviously that builds a layer of fitness, which is great, but it also builds this psychological, almost like improvement that you're able to push harder for longer, because on these steady days you got the brain used to being focused, used to being switched on, and used to working. That's reason number 1. Okay, reason number 2 is biomechanics. From a running technique perspective, your biomechanics are much closer to race pace when you're running a little bit steadier. If you just jog, you run really slow, I'm running up a hill, it teaches the body bad biomechanics, which are a million miles away from your biomechanics on race day. And so teaching the body better biomechanics means that come race day, you're much closer to that race day stride, race day cadence, and you're not teaching the body always to be good at jogging. The number 3 is very simple: fitness. With a higher heart rate and a higher work rate, you're building a little bit more fitness and aerobic development on a day of the week that otherwise might not have counted. You're making more of your running volume per week count, which means if you watch my video on zone training, you're working that entire curve. The only problem with either running easy or hard is you don't work the entire fitness curve. Steady day allows you to work another area of that fitness curve, which leads to improved fitness in that area, which allows better growth, better fitness in the areas above it and below it. Okay. I'm sweaty, I'm tired. 51 minutes, 13.5K. Like I said, it's harder. It's not easy. I woke up this morning, I would love to just go jog. I promise you, I don't love steady running, but I love that it makes me better. The final piece of advice is everybody's doing it, but nobody's doing it, which contradicts itself. But everybody that I know that is winning medals and is very good, Jake Whiteman, 1500 meter world champion, does steady running. Eliud Kipchoge, go look at his training, type it in. Eliud Kipchoge training, Berlin Marathon build up. Look at the Monday run. It's fast and it's not a session day. The runs that I did in Font-Romeu before I ran 209 for the marathon, before I ran 6108 for the half, every day counted. Strike a balance between don't get injured, don't get overtired, know your limits, add some steady running in. As the year goes on, as you get further into your running career, you can add more steady running. This is not a overnight fix. Look to improve the quality of your training, not always quantity. If you just run slow, you get good at running slow. It's kind of simple. That's a simple science. This run slower to get faster kind of pisses me off. Any camp I've been on with very good athletes that go on to race really fast, they don't run slow. Do you need to run slow some days? Yes. Oh my God, yes. To recover. There is days that recovery is really important. Can you still actively recover when you're doing steady running? Yes. Don't turn it into a tempo. Don't turn it into threshold marathon, that kind of effort. Keep it at steady. A pace between slow jog and maybe marathon-y type tempo. Keep it in that middle ground and you're actively recovering while running a bit faster. I love the mental concentration. I love the mental decision that I'm going to push a bit and not just take it really easy. I think it makes you stronger. I also believe that during the steady run, as you start to get tired, you teach yourself to mentally compose yourself on the run. Sure, this is a bit hard. Sure, I'm not loving this, but take a deep breath, calm things down. It's all good. You teach yourself that on the run. That's all I've got for you in steady running. I hope you enjoyed that. If you liked it, comment below, like, share, do all those lovely things. If you want more tips on training, recovery, nutrition, that's a very important thing. Post steady running, very important to get hydrated, very important to get your nutrition right away. Let the body start recovering instantly, but get that hydration going too. More tips on hydration, nutrition, psychology, running, joggingroom.com, my masterclass or marathon plans, 10K plans, etc. You can go check that out. There's lots of free stuff. That activation routine you watched this morning, there's a full and more thorough guide on the website, same as warming up for harder sessions, etc. Go check it out. Can't recommend it enough. joggingroom.com. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Take care. Happy running. Be kind to yourself. Running's really difficult. Please take a moment to just be kind to yourself. Do what I do. Do what I did once that I wish I'd do a lot more. Go look yourself in the mirror, tell yourself you're proud of yourself. It is so difficult, quite emotional, but really, really worth doing.